right now. So hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It's another Facebook, YouTube Live, and this is actually the last one for the year before we go dark. So don't expect any more housing debriefs for the rest of the year, but I do want to go ahead and start. This is our final housing debrief of the year, and we'll go ahead and get started. Of course, I would like to thank our incredible sponsor, and that is your buddy, my buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial. Deals with more than one kind of borrower. So there is, of course, more than one kind of loan, and everything from full documentation loans to alternative documentation loans to investor financing and even private money loans. So pretty much the full gamut. He works with you and your clients, and he has loads and loads of experience. He's been doing this since 1976. Incredibly knowledgeable. Runs a very tight ship. Great operation. We personally did our refinance through him recently, and absolutely just loved what he was able to do. So Monarch Coast Financial, thank you, Kevin Buddy, for your continued sponsorship. My buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at 949-422-2075. And our company is Reports on Housing. It's your local real estate snapshot. I'm the nerd behind the wheel and there's other nerds as well. I won't lump my wife into that. She does the books and all that good stuff. But I do have a crew behind the wheel as well, and that is my good friend Matt and Matt Garceau. He helps me out quite a bit. Has been helping me out for a few years, and he too has a quantitative economics degree. So if you want to work with me, you have to be nerdy and have a quantitative economics degree. So, and that's what I am. I am a nerd with a quantitative economics decision science degree, and we have reports that dot all over Southern California. There are 5 reports: LA, Orange County, San Diego. They all got their most recent one this week, and it's called November Housing Heat Wave. And yes, it has been an incredible heat wave, and I'll get into what that is right now in just a moment. But man, has it been hot? And we talked about just how hot the market is, because a lot of people expect going into November and December that, hey, we're going to be able to look for something to purchase, and it's going to be really easy to find something. But that's just not the case. So it's incredibly hot. Just like we had that heat wave about a week ago, it has been hot in housing since July of last year, and we get into all the nitty-gritty details based upon the county. Go to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and it's $15 per month or $150 per year. You get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code THANKFUL, because that is exactly what I am. I am thankful for everything that we have and just all the blessings around us. Of course, we have to start off with a couple funnies, and one of them is that's pricing about 20% high. Leave room for negotiations. That's what a lot of sellers say, and this would be the adequate response. No, that's not how this works. And exactly, you want to tap into the market. And the best way to tap in the market is get as close to that last comp as possible. And if you're going to get a lot of offers, it'll be like an auction. It'll go way above the last comp. So, I had to throw this in because if anybody's moved, they know exactly what I'm talking about here. I think everybody knows what I'm talking about anyways. You have to have lots of packing tape, and every once in a while you have to go back and try to find where that seam was. I'm here. No, just joking. I'm here. Ha, hee hee. Fine. I'm here. Man, I've spent so long looking for the seam. Sometimes I just throw away the tape. I get so frustrated. Housing. More insane in 2022. That is exactly what we're here to talk about today. And it's everything that I'm looking at. We focused last week on the supply side of things, and I want to focus. It's supply and demand. We talked about supply crisis a week ago, and gosh darn it, we have a lot of demand. We have things that are lining up that are in favor of demand, as if we need more demand in the marketplace, right? But what I wanted to illustrate is where demand is this year. This is 2017. Each of these Himalayas is a year. At the end of the year, you could see how it falls off. At the end, that's the holiday market. It happens every single year. 2018, you could see a bit more muted, and the demand really fell off because we had interest rates that hit 5%. So that's why you get that big, gigantic drop off that's right there. And then we have 2019. It was pretty solid, better than 2018, that's for sure. And then we had 2020, and that's with COVID. And this is 2021. You can see how solid this is, how high it is compared to the history of demand going back the last several years, COVID and prior to the pandemic. And keep in mind that COVID-19 right here, this Himalaya looks taller for 2020, but it was narrower because there was a chunk that's missing, and that chunk was when we had lockdowns, and that lasted everywhere from the middle of March all the way till we got to right around the start of June. And so there was a big chunk of demand that was missing, and so then we surged, but it was just a late spring, and we could only do so much with fewer months to work with. And I'm stacking up a whole bunch of lines. And I wanted to do this intentionally, show you where we've been from 2013 all the way to today. And that today is that yellow line, and I'm going to blow it up a little bit more. That yellow line, you can see it. Other than last year, we have never really had a year where we've had this high of demand. And if you look at it compared to averages, this year has been solid across the board. As a matter of fact, it's the strongest for all of Southern California since 2009. And there's two counties, Orange County and Los Angeles, where it's the strongest since 2005. But you can see, yes, demand is higher in the green line, and that was last year compared to right now. But you got to compare it to, you could see how there's that V that is right over here and on the left-hand side. And that V was when we went into the pandemic. That pandemic that we had right there, that V, that was where it was that was during the pandemic where demand really came down. But you have to remember, I also showed how inventory came down last week during this time period as well, which is why we knew that the market was going to be pretty strong even through COVID. But overall, this year is stronger than last year, and this is where demand's at right now, and just really strong compared to even where we were last year. It's like knocking on the door of where we were a year ago, and there's going to be a lot that's going to push demand even further next year. And one of those that is starting to get a lot of press, Wall Street Journal came out with something, and we were already talking about this prior, but Wall Street Journal did a really good job on an article about the 2022 loan limit. So let's talk about what happened between 2020 and 2021. The beginning of this year, we had loan limits that changed. And these loan limits, what they are is conventional mortgages. And if you put everything and you follow all the requirements of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, you can actually, you could sell the loan and off to Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to free up the books for lending so they can go out and they can lend some more. So, and that's exactly what happened. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac pretty much drive the majority of all lending across the United States. People say they're government owned. They're not really, but they're under a conservatorship of the federal government. And they're talking about making those privatized again. But just know that even though the government's backing them, all the profits are actually going back to the United States. 2021 loan limit changes. This is what happened from 2020 to 2021, and conventional loan limit, so this is the lower limit, went from $510,400 to $548,250 at the start of this year. So there's already a big, gigantic shift. And then the high cost loan limit, and these are for high cost areas. There are a bunch of high cost areas across the United States. I believe it's a total of 100. They don't get all the way up to this high cost loan limit, but they do exceed where the conventional loan limit is. And basically, it went from $765,600 to $822,375. So it opened up the door to more lending this year. But with values going up as much as they have, there's going to be a shift from 2021 to 2022. And the conventional loan limit is going to go from $548,250, most likely. This is just projected. This is probably going to come out. It's typically right before the end of the month. So this month we're running out of days really fast. So within the next couple of weeks, they'll drop what these new loan limits are going to be, and most likely what they're forecasting them to hit is right at 650,000. So they're going from 548 to 650,000. That's up $100,000, a little over that. And then the high cost loan limit is going to go from 822,375,000 all the way up to close to $1 million, 975,000. And what that does is it moves it from $650,000. That $650,000 loan limit allows with 20% down to afford a house that is about $812,500. And of course, you don't have to put 20% down. The way that it works is there's like the sliding scale. You put a little bit less down. There's the interest rates go up. There's also mortgage insurance and things like that are thrown into there. But let's just show this as an example as 20% down, but know that you don't have to put 20% down. There's even FHA, which is as little as 3.5% down. And those loan limits are changing as well. So something very similar. And so the 975,000 for those high cost areas allows, with 20% down, allows somebody to purchase all the way up to $1,218,750. That's a big house. And you're wondering, how come it's so high? Well, in areas like Orange County and Los Angeles, this is now your bread and butter home. This is your tract home, is now $1.2 million. Sound like the Bay Area, don't we? But don't worry, the Bay Area has been going up as well. I have been following Bay Area for about 6 months now. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, what are the advantages of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac? It's preferred by lenders. It's lower interest rates and fewer approval requirements, as well as lower minimum credit scores. It doesn't mean you actually can't fog a mirror and get a loan, but you actually have to. There are fewer approval requirements than jumbo. So just know that this opens things up quite a bit. Wait, I do hear some people. I have my first awesome interruption. And who is this? Mason. So what are we doing this weekend?
Going to Mia's cross country.
Mia has a cross country meet at Mount Sac. Pretty cool, huh? So that's pretty cool. And you notice he didn't mention soccer. Why? Because we have a few weeks of no soccer. Just maybe some practices, and that's about it. So thank you for joining us. Wait, oh my gosh. I have somebody special, a very, very special guest. Guess who I have? I have Batman. And if you look at my Facebook post or Instagram post, yes, are you Batman?
Yeah.
I
go in the moon.
You're in the moon. Is that where you live?
Yeah.
Yeah, you go to the moon. Yes. So for all of you that know, Zeke's not here today. We have Batman, right, Batman? Yeah. Did you go to school today, Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, did you? That's really
somebody. Zeke in the moon. Zeke in the moon.
Zeke's in the moon with Batman. Awesome. Well, thank you for joining me, Mr. Batman. Yes.
You.
Bye. Thank you very much. So every day in the morning and in the afternoon and in the evening, somebody wants to wear Batman gear every single day. So it's been since Christmas just about. And it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to put the stuff on too, because he has to put on his gloves and all that stuff. But he's getting good at putting on his own gloves. Anyways, so you can see it opens up the pool of buyers for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So the loan limit in Riverside and San Bernardino County is going to go from $548,250 to $650,000. That's going to open up the number of people that can afford towards the upper end. San Diego County is going to go from $753,250 to approximately, we don't know yet, but it's going to be approximately $893,000, so close to $900,000. And then Los Angeles and Orange County is going to go from that $822,375 to $975,000. So they're part of the highest higher conventional loan limits. And so know that what this is going to do, it's going to open the spigot of potential buyers that can purchase up to higher levels. They don't have to necessarily go jumbo. When you go jumbo, there's a few more hoops that you got to run through. And so this just opens up things. And this is what banks prefer. They'd rather do these conventional loans and then sell them off to that secondary market of Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. So that's going to open up the spigot. Another thing that's going to open up the spigot are first-time home buyers. And just know that we've been dealing with the strongest demographic patch of first-time home buyers ever. And it started last year. This year was more. And next year is even a bit more. So it actually increases and goes for the next 3 years, this strong demographic patch. So we're seeing it in the first-time home buyer. That's the 32-year-olds. That's the prime first-time home buyer age. So we're seeing that demographic, that strong wave of potential purchasers that are coming through as the millennials. And everybody said millennials wouldn't be able to purchase homes, but I'm here to tell you that millennials are getting married. B, they're moving out of their multiple roommate situation or out of their parents' houses. And then C, so they're getting married and having babies, and they want houses, and they want to live that American dream. So they're no different than everybody else out there. And that too, with more demographic patch and it being nice and strong, is going to open up the spigot a little bit more. And then we have this other thing that's very interesting that I wanted to bring to people's attention. I saw something that was super interesting that I didn't even think of until I saw this week. And that is crypto profits have been driving some of this demand, this escalation in demand. And this will continue for as long as we continue to see crypto profits, and know that this will seep into the housing market, because when they have all this extra money and then they sell off some of that and then they turn around and have a down payment with it, it really is allowing people to purchase. With all these profits on Wall Street as well as crypto, this is what they're turning their profits into their purchasing of homes. So Rick Palacio Jr. is at John Burns Real Estate Consulting, actually did a survey on Twitter. And his question was, have you or someone you know used profits from crypto and or NFTs? I'm not going to talk about those, but just know that that's something else that's new to help with the down payment of a home purchase. And here's what it came out to be. He expected less than 5%, maybe 1% to 2%. And instead, 20% stated yes. That's a big portion. Now, we know that it's not 20% because the Twitter universe is a little bit different. You have a lot more of people like economists and some different financial people that are on it. So it's going to be skewed towards the higher, but he was not expecting 20%. He was expecting less than 5%. So this is skewed, but still, it is something to understand that people are turning their crypto profits into actually purchasing homes. They're turning them into down payments. So know that this is also juicing the demand side of things. It's just adding to the spigot. By the way, my wife said juicing is an 80s term. I'm from the 80s. I can't help it, but it's opening the spigot of more buyers. Ooh, I have another special guest, but one more thing before I get to this special guest. There's mounds and mounds of cash. There's a lot of cash that's running around. And you ask a lender, when they see all of these people come to pre-qualify, they're noticing they have a lot of cash on hand. And for those people that are just trying to make it into a house, and there's appraisal contingencies, and the appraiser, they have to remove those appraisal contingencies in order to purchase a home. They're wiping out the appraisal. What happens if they come up short on the appraisal and they have to put in more money in order to purchase a home that they're locked into a contract? Well, it turns out mom and dad, grandma and grandpa, relatives have been heavily helping out the home buying public, especially the younger generations, helping them out with down payments, with the difference in the appraisal to what the money that they need to bring in when the appraisal comes in too low. So they've been participating in the marketplace. And ask lenders that that have really been a big part of doing a ton of loans. They'll tell you and they'll confirm with you that there's a lot of money and there's a lot of help from mom and dad and relatives. And that too is opening up the spigot. One other thing is these low interest rates. These low interest rates have been staying low. And this is the latest one that came out yesterday. This drops every Thursday. It's now back. It went from 3% back, or 2.9 to back up to 3.1%. But that was with the inflation reading that dropped at the start of the week, or like Tuesday or Wednesday. I can't remember what day it was. And but as a result, interest rates went up just slightly. But know that this is where we're at. We're right here at 3.1%. And this would be a record low if we did not have COVID. And if you look at this, goes back to the last 10 years. This is really low level. And that's why we're getting this increased push in demand that continues to this day, because these rates are so low. It makes housing more affordable, which allows housing values to continue to rise without them getting into the red zone that I watch with affordability. So, and this goes all the way back and past to, if you see that Himalaya, 1980, that's where we had 18% interest rates, and they've been falling ever since. And you can see where they're at today. This is so low compared to the history of where interest rates have been. So just so you understand why it's continuing to juice the market. And we're going to see interest rates anywhere from 2.75 to 3.5%. I think we're going to have a really hard time getting up towards 3.5%. It's going to take us a while, which is just going to make this start of the year of 2022 on. It's going to be incredibly hot. Which that too, these low interest rates continue to open up that valve even more. So, before we get to the Southern California housing supply, I have a special guest.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Say hello to everybody.
Hi.
What are we doing this weekend?
Well, so
No soccer.
Oh, no soccer. Going to Mia's crack of dawn.
Crack of dawn, yeah. I think we have to get up at like 5:20. So pretty cool. They're excited about that.
No.
But they're more excited about like Brugger's Bagel.
And then this next week we got no school.
Right on.
Oh yeah. And to everyone, happy Thanksgiving.
Who else? I have another special guest over here with an incredible San Clemente sweatshirt on.
Just kidding.
Who's this?
Alana.
Hello, Alana. How are you doing?
Good.
Oh, good. So, what are we doing? Anything fun?
Well, today my soccer team is having a thing at Defy.
Boom. So, what's Defy?
It used to be known as Circus Tricks. It's a trampoline park.
Ooh, trampoline park. That sounds like a lot of fun. Well, That's awesome. Well, see you on the other side of this video. Boom. Can't wait. All right. And let's see. Let's see. So we have the inventory. That's where we were at. So we talked about demand side of things. We'll get into more of the nitty-gritty details of demand, but I do want to talk about specifically last week we were at 17,770. That was where our inventory is at. It was down 4% in a 2-week period, or shedding 669 homes in 2 weeks. Well, last year we were at almost 25,000 homes, which is 40% higher. And that was the lowest level that I'd ever seen for Southern California at that time. And we're even lower right now. The 3-year average is 40,110, which means that more than double where we are today, 126% higher. That's what that means. Today, we're at 16,910. So I do track the numbers on a weekly basis, and then I update these charts every 2 weeks. But today we're at 16,910, which means we dropped another 5% in just a week, shed 860 homes in a week. And this is the seasonality that I talked about. We have these 5 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, holidays, and winter. Well, guess what we entered as of today? You heard it. My kids just got off of school. They're done with school for the next week, which means we're off for Thanksgiving break. All the distractions of the kids and all that stuff. Some people go on trips. They do lots of fun things. So what happens now is we've entered the holiday market. It runs from here through the first 2 weeks of the new year. And that is where inventory and demand just plunge. They just absolutely plunge. Well, inventory it has plunged, and we'll get into demand next. But I want you to know from here, we're just going to watch the inventory continue to fall. And people are wondering, how in the world can the inventory fall even further if we have such low inventories to begin with? And let me show you what's happened in this last week. It's absolutely crazy because LA shed 5% in the last week down to 7,186. They're going to go below 7,000 homes, which is just, I'm scratching my head. How's it getting that low? Orange County dipped below 1,700 and now is at 1,624. For a little while, is even below 1,624, but down 9% in 1 week. Riverside, 3,211, down 4% in 1 week. San Bernardino, 2,759, also down 4% in 1 week. And San Diego down 2,100 to 2,130, down 5% in a week. Now, San Diego and Orange County have almost no homes on the market, and yet they keep on falling further, which is just absolutely mind-blowing. Because I've had people go, how in the world can it plunge any further? We already have nothing on the market. And that's where we had less than 2,000 homes in the market, like in Orange County, and 2,500 in San Diego. And you can see what the inventories have come down to just in the last several weeks. So let's talk about the demand side of things. We talked about what's going to be happening in demand in 2022. But what's happening right now? Well, interest rates have just been juiced by these low interest rates. And here's an example of that. So there's an agent with Century 21 Masters out of Walnut, and he sent actually tagged me in a Facebook post. And here's the picture of the open house that he had. I believe it was yesterday morning, and I was wondering what all those boxes were for. And my wife said, "Oh, that's to sort all the offers. The basket is for under 900,000. The blue block box is for 1 million to 1.1. The other box is 1.1 million plus." Just kidding, right? But hey, that might be what they're doing. But look at all that activity. Here's another angle. Holy smokes. There are a lot of people waiting just to see this one house that came on the market in Walnut. Holy smokes. So Southern California demand year over year is pretty darn hot. Last week it was at 17,301, which was just down 1% or shed 255 pending sales in a 2-week period of time. Last year at this time, we were at 19,077, 10% higher, but this was due to a delayed spring. So we actually closed a lot of homes last year, but we're closing more this year compared to last year. And 3-year average is 14,176, which is 18% less. And this is on the backs of fewer homes on the market and fewer homes coming to market than the average, right? The average prior to the pandemic. It is just mind-blowing because today we're at 17,376. It actually went up. And remember, I told you the holiday market really begins today. So in the last week, we already got a plunge in the inventory. It's going to continue from here. We'll see that plunge in demand. Part of that is for the rest of November, very few homes come on the market. And then December is the fewest number of homes that come on the market out of all year. So December is the lowest. November is the second lowest. So Southern California demand is going to plunge from here. Welcome to the holiday market. And it just like the inventory. But then at the beginning of the year, we're going to see the demand just skyrocket, and it'll skyrocket way faster than the inventory does. So that's typical for the start of any year, and that's where we start the winter market around the third week of January. So what is the speed of the market? Well, pretty darn fast. Last week we were at 31 days. It went down 1 day in a 2-week period of time. Last year at this time, we were at 39 days, slower than where we are today. Remember, the lower the number, the hotter the market. That means you place your home on the market, pound in that for sale sign. When are you opening up escrow? The 3-year average is 86 days. That's normal. That's a normal market that I like to see. That's still a slight seller's market. Not a lot of appreciation, but sellers get to call a few more of the shots. But you know what? That's typical for this time of year. Today, we actually are at 29 days. We went down 2 days in the last week. So I'm hoping that this kind of fixes itself over the next week. But man, this market is just getting hotter by the minute. The further we roll into the week to week, day to day. And this is where we are between 60 and 90 days, blue to black. That's a slight seller's market. That was the year 2019. Anything below 60 is a hot seller's market. Anything below 40 is a hot, silly, insane housing market. And that's where we have been behaving since July of last year. And pretty much it's going to continue. And then it will continue after the start of this year. LA is at a 36-day expected market time, actually went down another day in the last week. Orange County is at a 21-day expected market time for the whole county, all price ranges, right? This is the whole county that I'm talking about for each of these. Down 2 days in the last week. Riverside is at 27 days, down 2 days in the last week. San Bernardino is at 33 days, down 1 day. And San Diego's at 21 days, also down 2 days. It's like Orange County and San Diego is trying to duke it out to see who can be the silliest market during the holidays. And right now, it's kind of a tie. They're both extremely silly, which means when it gets down that low, we're seeing massive appreciation. You can see that in the line that I just showed you in Walnut. So you know that if you're looking for a house in the Covina Walnut area, that, hey, you know what? I've done the numbers over there. It's silly for that market too. You're going to have multiple offers and values are continuing to soar and skyrocket. Don't believe what you see totally in the media. Real estate is local, and this is what I'm talking about for Southern California. So at the beginning of next year, it is going to continue. I want everybody to know, so this is the last housing debrief, but I will do the 2022 housing forecast. So mark your calendars on December 16th at 3 o'clock p.m. I will be live with the Facebook Live and YouTube Live, and we'll get lots of information out there to let you know all about it. But we will have our 2022 housing forecast. That's a Thursday, December 16th at 3 p.m. And then after that, I'll just hang up my boots and just write reports because we won't have any presentations after that, right? If you want a copy of this, you need to be a subscriber to the Housing Report, and you can do that by going to reportsonhousing.com, click on subscribe, and it's $15 per month or $150 per year, and you get a month free if you sign up utilizing the coupon code THANKFUL. So if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up in the chat, and I'll answer anything that I can. Please like the Facebook post. Also, if you're on YouTube, smash that like button. That will help me out in the algorithms as well. I'd like to thank Kevin Buddy from Monarch Coast Financial. He, of course, deals with everything from full documentation loans to private money loans, everything in between. Loads and loads of experience. Has been doing this since 1976. And my buddy, your buddy, Kevin Buddy at Monarch Coast Financial, 949-422-2075. That's 949-422-2075. And that's all I have for you. So thank you very much. Ask away any questions, and I'll be more than happy to get back to you. And I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And I hope to see you on the December 16th, Thursday, 3 p.m. for our 2022 housing forecast. Once again, enjoy your Thanksgiving. May it be filled with a lot of memories and a lot of fun, wonderful times with your family. Thank you so much.